Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we're back already. If you know, you know. So I'm Amjad Muhammad. I'm with you for the remainder of this evening. In the sense, when I say this evening, I mean this hour. We will be off air shortly, inshallah, but we've got a full session ahead of us. As you can see, I have a new email that is visible. Well, it's not a new email. I've had the email for nearly a month now. Well, actually, exactly a month, in fact. But the email is new for the Iqra viewers because this is an email that I use at Al Khair. And the reason why I'm sharing this email with you, or Adil is sharing this email with you, is because this email goes straight into my inbox. And you could literally email me right now, and I would hear a little ping on my phone, and I could pick up your email immediately and answer your question, arguably on live on air. And similarly, if for whatever reason I don't hear a ping or it doesn't come through in the next 20 minutes or so, then I am in the office tomorrow morning, inshallah, and on Friday, in fact, Monday to Friday, and I can then pick up those questions and I can respond by emailing back to you or taking that question and reading it live on air that subsequent evening, unless obviously it's a Monday and then I know maybe it's a long time before Wednesday, so I might reply back via email. So please do make note of that email address in case you need a fatwa or you need a question answering. The email is amjad Muhammad at alkhair.org. Okay, that's the email to use. Try it out, see if it works, and I will reply back to you, inshallah. And we're going to leave that up today, tomorrow, and keep regularly reminding you for the next sort of week or two, so you get used to the email address, and inshallah start to use it more often as well. But I did say that when we return after the break, I'm going to remind you of the phone number to call because we're waiting on some calls. This is a call-in show. You don't just remind you that people do ring in and then we answer questions live on air. So just to remind you about that in case you thought, what is this? Is this just a lecture? It's not just a lecture. And I know many of you said to me, oh, Mufsab, we'll leave you to talking because, alhamdulillah, we like to listen to what you've got to say. We don't like to interrupt you. I don't mind being interrupted, trust me, because when I get interrupted, I can rest my voice a little bit and also hear what you've got to say. So, less talking from me, let me give you the number. It's 01274214299. That's 01274214299. Please do give it a call and we will deal with your questions, your queries, and your curiosities. Like I said, if you're feeling a little bit shy, then you can email that on that email address. Anyway, before the short interval, we were dealing with some questions which had appeared on our Ladies Darul Iftar group. What we're going to do now is we're going to pick up some of those questions. We answered some. I think there was one or two left. I think one actually. So we're going to deal with that one question that was left on the Sisters Darul Iftar, and then we're going to jump across to the gents. Okay. So here we go. Last question is, Assalamu alaikum. I would like to know, when I am performing my salah, my child who is a year old moves around in front. Is the namaz still valid? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have answered questions like this in the past because we get questions like this from sisters who say that when I'm praying my salah, my toddler walks in front of me, or my 1-year-old in this case walks in front of me, or my 2-year-old walks in front of me, or my baby I place on the musalla in front of me, or my baby starts crying in the pram, or my baby starts crying in the cot. All kind of baby related type of questions or toddler related questions, either distracting the mother from her salah, or she's sensing that my child might be in danger in some way, or as in this case, the child is just walking in front of the mother when she's praying. First thing I always say is, when you're praying, you need to make sure that you've dealt with your child, your baby, whatever, in as best way possible, and that they're resting so that they do not disturb you. Most salahs, even at time of winter, are over a duration. What I mean by that is over 2-3 hours. It's not like, apart from Maghrib, where you have to pray as soon as, even then you got a 15-20 minute time frame. Most salahs aren't that you have to pray them instantaneously, like immediately. You have, as I said, 2-3 hours in order to pray them in, so you pick your slot, you pick your time. That's the first thing. Secondly, you pray in a place where you're not going to be disturbed. That means disturbed by anybody in the house. It could be your husband, it could be your children, it could be your babies, whatever. You need to tell people that, look, I'm now, dad, or husband, or whoever he is, husband, I'm now going to pray my salah. Please, can you deal with this, that, and the other, whatever, and off you go and pray your salah. Your husband should be decent enough to take on the household responsibilities for 10 minutes whilst you go pray. Surely he can manage that. And when you go pray, then you can dedicate your ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third thing is, when you do pray, you pray in such a way that nobody can walk in front of you. So if you're going to place your musalla on the main area, open area, then yes, people, children, animals are going to walk in front of you. But if you take your musalla and have it right in the corner of a room, so that there is no room ahead of you, then the chances that somebody or something is going to walk in front of you are even rare. Or if you think that even that's still going to happen, then place a sutra in front of you. Place something like a box, the corner of a table, a bed, whatever, to act as a sutra. So even if somebody walks in front of that, it's not a problem. So there's so many mechanisms available to us to avoid that situation arising. So that deals with all the questions that we had on the sisters group. Whilst I was giving that question, answering that question, we didn't get a single person calling, mashallah. So it's a very quiet day today. But you never know. We still have around 15 minutes or so. So maybe somebody is plucking up their courage just as we speak right now. I'm just going to check my email, see if I've got any emails on the amjad.mohammed@alkhair.org. @.org, that's it. And there, it's quiet there, nothing there. Nope, the last email I got there was this morning, so nothing there at all. So quiet on that front as well. So I've checked on that. Let's move on to the gents group. Okay, because I know we have some questions on the gents group. We've got quite a few questions on the gents group. Where do we stop? Okay. Oh, goodness me. It's going. Oh, there it goes. Quite a lot of questions here. Right. Assalamu alaikum. If a person woke up late for Fajr despite setting the alarm and prayed as soon as he got up, would he make the intention of adha or qadha when praying? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Depending on the time this person got up, if he's praying his salah in the time of that salah, then it is adha. And if he's praying that salah outside of the time of that salah, then it is qadha. So you cannot pray a salah before its time. Okay. You can pray a salah adha, which is in its time. And you can pray a salah which is qadha, which is after its time. So there can only be a salah before its time. There can be a salah in its time, or there can be a salah after its time. I've just explained that you cannot pray a salah before its time. It's not valid, so that's dealt with. Praying a salah in its time is what we should be doing, and that is called adha, because it is as perfect as possible. And praying salah after its time is called qadha, because the salah has missed you, but it's still compulsory for you to fulfill. And that should explain that answer. Salam, is a Rayyan's account that has a profit share scheme halal? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am not a consultant for a Rayyan, and therefore I cannot comment. In order to be able to comment, I would have to be a consultant for them, and that means I would be given access to everything that goes on with their account, the conditions associated and everything else, and I'm not, so therefore I cannot comment. You need to see who is on their Sharia board and what they say about it. Assalamu alaikum, I hope all is well. I just wanted to ask if it's permissible for a Muslim to run a public swimming pool, the type that has a water slide. Just to be more clear, it's a place where people of different races and religious backgrounds can and do go. Jazakumullah khairan. Next question. Okay, he doesn't mess about. He's in there and then he's asking 2 questions. Wa alaikum salam wa hold on. I think I need to press that. That's better. Reply. There you go. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Owning a swimming pool, in essence, is permissible because swimming is permissible. So it is a permissible pastime. It's water. So if we were based on principles, owning a swimming pool is permissible. Having said that, all swimming pools are very rarely single gender. Okay, very, very rarely, because it's too expensive to run. There might be times where it's single gender, but it won't be all the time. And we know, obviously, how people dress when they go swimming, the norm, which is wearing very little. We know, for example, the aura of a man is between his navel and his knee, and we know many men don't necessarily wear shorts that cover between the navel and the knee when they go swimming. For women, obviously, it's the whole body apart from the face and the hands, because women aren't necessarily, what should we say, encouraged to swim publicly, maybe privately, but not publicly. But this is a public bath. Without going into too many specifics, not all women cover everything by their face and their hands. So there is a virtual guarantee that there's going to be, a lot of difficulty by owning a swimming pool. So it would be something that a person should avoid, okay? It should be something that a person should avoid rather than doing. So we've had somebody, mashallah, email on our amjad.muhammad@alkhair.org, alhamdulillah. So that's brilliant. It shows it's working. We have had somebody contact straight away, so jazakumullah khair for that. We know it works. So that's the email, amjad.muhammad@alkhair.org. I got it straight away on my phone, alhamdulillah. So as I got it straight on my phone, I can read the question out and I can answer. Salam, can we do any kind of dhikr, astaghfirullah, while having a bath? Jazakallah. Okay, whilst having a bath, but remember, any question which comes whilst I'm on air, I will answer it on air. Okay, so rather than type it out, because it saves me the energy of typing it out, and I want to focus on that. When we are bathing, then we should not be saying anything. Okay, we should not be saying anything. That is not the time or place to be making istighfar. That is a time and place to be, bathing once our ghusl has been performed, to then, move on, clothe ourselves and move on. So really that is a time it should be avoided. Okay, so one should not engage in istighfar whilst unbathed. So jazakallah khair for that, brother. It came through, alhamdulillah. So that's very grateful for that, and thanks for using the system. So brothers and sisters, there you go. You can use the system, amjad.muhammad, amjad.mohammed @alkhair.org. Struggled to spell then, didn't I, for a second? Okay. So it's responded back to the voice note. Jazakallah Mufsab, I tried to send you a screenshot of the email I received, but I can't upload onto here. I can confirm they definitely state that in case of shortage, animal ingredients is used. What you said makes sense. How can there be a shortage of certain ingredients? The company I got is well. I'm confused. Can I allow my son to continue using or not? And do I need to wash his bed sheets as he slept with the product in his hair? Jazakallah reward you for all your hard work. Ameen. Barakallahu feekum. Thanks for your kind words, and continue to make dua for me, please. No, you do not need to wash his bed sheets at all. I think what you need to do is then find out from them to say, what would you do to notify your customers when that happens? Does the labeling on the bottle change? Do you put something on it, or is it just you carry on? If they do change the labeling on the bottle or something, then that's something for you to look out for. If they get back to you and they say that they don't change anything, that it stays exactly the same, then it's probably better to avoid this shampoo, but you do not need to wash anything as such, because once he placed it in his hair and then he washed his hair, there would be no remnants of it either. It's just one should avoid purchasing something like that. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get back to the chat's questions as we answered 3 there. We are running out of time now. We have a few minutes left. So my brothers and sisters, if you're out there and if you wish to make a call, now is the time to make that call. We have a few minutes left and we will be off air. And then you will have to wait till tomorrow. Is it permissible as Muslims to neuter domestic animals, example dogs, cats, more so in a puppy or a kitten? Really, we shouldn't be involved in that kind of behavior of neutering animals because, you know, it's their right to have children as and so they wish and they please. In only extreme circumstances, one may do so. But really, this is something that is, you know, animal nature. I was about to say human nature. This is animal nature. It's their right. And just because we own them, you know, we shouldn't be dictating to them what they can and can't do. I guess if it becomes too much of a problem, then there may be some, you know, if we have a cat, for example, and it's like having, you know, kittens every year and having a dozen or so kittens every year, and this person can't keep these animals, then, you know, there may be some scope for it there, but not just, you know, like the first point of call, you know, immediately kind of going down that road. A few more questions left on the gents, so I'm going to go for one more, and then probably we're going to be close to the end of today's session. Assalamu alaikum. Is it permissible to sell TV remote controls and a TV aerials? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When it comes to TVs and things of that nature, I know the position of some ulama that these should be considered as impermissible because of the what you can potentially view on them. My view is as such that a TV is like a screen, a monitor, okay, and it can have access to anything. Nowadays, especially, TVs are virtually computer screens. They have access to the internet, and they are just a screen. So like we have, for example, a mobile phone screen, like we have a iPad or tablet screen, like we have a PC screen, like we have a laptop screen, like we have, I have monitors in front of me right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monitors staring at me. We have obviously, you know, things which, so the word TV now really should be changed to the word screen, because back in the day, going back into the 1940s and 50s, the only screen was the TV. That was the only screen that we knew. But fast forward to the, 2020, everything literally is a screen nowadays, You can, soon you'll be interacting with your fridge. There'll be a screen on your fridge which will be telling you what's inside your fridge, if not already. Your mirror will end up being a screen. You'll be able to watch things on your mirror whilst brushing your teeth, for example, or whatever. It might say the weather in the corner or the temperature or whatever. So, these are screens now. So the simple thing is that if it's a technological screen, then if it is used for good, like we're sat here now, alhamdulillah, and you're watching Iqra TV via your screen at home. So we're sharing good things to you. We're giving you nasiha. We're giving you answers to your questions via the screen. Now, arguably, you may not need a screen to hear it. You could do that with your ears. That's absolutely fine. But for some of us, we like to see an image of the person speaking so we can connect with that person. So they can be put to good use. So in that same way, they are not necessarily an evil as such, but they are an item which can either be put to good use or be also put to bad use. So therefore, it is the user that is using it in a certain way for that. And in terms of TV aerials, I didn't know people actually sold TV aerials, because nowadays most TVs don't need an aerial. So I'm not sure unless you live in a country where they use TV aerials. That brings us very much to the end with only seconds left. Enough time for me to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.